All right. So the good news is we've had a bunch of these over the last week, and I feel like we're hitting a flow. So I also wanted to let you know that I'm gonna kind of take a little bit of a pause teaching today so that people can feel like they're getting caught up on the live call. So I almost think this is going to flow beautifully into that. And so with that in my brain, I'm going to make sure we don't double up too much so that you get best of both. You know what I mean? Awesome. So I want to just start out with you talking through where are you feeling the most challenged because that has been a really good starting place for all is kind of like where are you feeling struggle? Let's kind of like work through that a little bit and then we can get back to the agenda. But I want to make sure that you're getting the absolute most out of this.
Yeah, so I'll be honest, as far as like the course work,
Yeah.
I loved the call last week. It was great. I
Okay.
didn't do the homework
No
because
worries.
suddenly I was like, oh my God, I'm starting my Instagram. And then like every night I was like took an hour of my night trying to make a post. And
I know.
of course it takes so much time, especially in the
Mhm.
beginning. So I got like all carried away with that, which was great and it was
Yeah.
exciting. And I got it up and so that was like a big
Yeah.
accomplishment of last week. And then like I did not have any time to do all that work. And I was like, you know what, I'll just on my own time, just keep on
Yep.
catching up.
Totally.
So I definitely loved all the stuff and resonated deeply.
Good.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Mhm.
homework is truly like there so that you have the prompts, but it would be so unrealistic for me to expect everyone to get through it unless you had zero clients, zero children, zero. Do you know what I mean? So like it's the portal is truly something I want you to refer back to like over the next 5 years. And
Yeah,
and
that's why
and
I
I
love it. You can
really
have
know
that.
that I know that you will. And so on the call today, what I think I'm going to do is circle back to that Instagram bios because I've had so many great breakthroughs with doulas that I want to bring all of that to you all. So we can check that off the list and then really kind of talking through the strategy moving forward with posting. Okay. So,
Yeah.
oh, did we freeze? You okay?
I
Got me.
see you. I hear you. Hear me?
Yep, yep. Okay, good. I think we're good. So yeah, so with that, I think you already said, yeah, the posting takes a while, and I agree with you, but I also know that I've gotten much quicker with practice, so that will happen for you too. Um, where else do you feel like there is a struggle, if anything, or like where are you feeling the most overwhelm or resistance? And we'll just kind of tackle that first.
Um, so networking, I met with the midwife on Thursday. That was great. It was
Yeah,
fun, great meeting. She gave me some good ideas. I'm going to follow up on that. So definitely like just getting my name out there, which I think a lot
yeah,
of it is social media. But being that I have like that niche of the Jewish community,
yeah,
got to figure out to do that. And I'll kind of do that on my own just because I don't know if I'm not sure if you know the community and, I don't know if you would be able to help me with that.
yeah. We
But I
can
guess
totally
like,
brainstorm lots of things.
yeah. And then also really like just figuring out, but I don't know if you're saying we're going to talk about that on today's call, but maybe more personal to me, like what I should continue posting with. And like
Mm-hmm.
I did like an intro, I
Yep.
did a post on like what is a doula, I did a random post about my family. I posted like a meeting up with my doula, I mean my midwife.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, where am I going with this? Like, I don't even have time. I'm also working on right now. I have a client on Thursday, a child education course, like before the birth.
Yep.
And I have like all of my thoughts all over the place, and I never made like a proper slideshow. So the past couple of nights, I've been like up till 1 a.m. creating a beautiful slideshow, which I'm going to put a lot of work into because I'll, keep on using it.
Yeah.
So that was also been like very busy this week. I'm like really in the middle of the beautiful PowerPoint that I'm creating.
Yeah.
So that's been taking up a lot of my time, which I'm okay with because I know that it's gonna, be with me forever.
Absolutely.
So I guess really like content creation. I don't know. You tell me. I'm like a
Yeah.
little bit all over the place.
It's okay. I think just normalizing being all over the place is really important. I didn't have that like when I first started, so I thought, "Oh, it must be me. I don't have enough direction. I don't have enough strategy. I don't have enough And yes, that was true, but also it's like you really can't get to that place without having the chaotic beginning where you're finding what works. And I think like what I want to point out is you have successfully niched down already, which takes some people years, right? So I think one needle mover that I want to just like continue to reiterate is starting conversations. And so you're already doing this, like by meeting up with that midwife and things like that. But I almost want you to say to yourself, like, if I only had an hour a day to devote to my business and I could only choose like the most important thing, what would it be? To me, it's starting conversations. If you can do that with your ideal client, even better. But any conversation, in my opinion, is going to have more clout than like posting or um, working on an email or like, because at the end of the day, it's just that much higher up the totem pole of like making a difference in the needle movers, right? So I think we might have already talked about this, but I think like, yes, we know that we want to call in your ideal mamas through social media. But let's get even more specific. Like, if you're willing to be on Facebook, for example, I wonder if there is some like groups. I wonder if one of your homework assignments could be like, all right, let's figure out like, are there any local moms groups that are near my circle of service that I can really start becoming known in? Like, having a presence, answering questions, just being very, my name popping up consistently there, you know? And are there even any Jewish mom groups? And if not, is it worth considering even starting your own? You might want to even think about like, what do you have the capacity for? And would that make any sense? You know what I mean? So I
Right.
think
Yeah. So,
like yeah, finding maybe just doing a little bit of research on like what groups would be beneficial for me to be spending some time in there.
so I
Yeah,
definitely know there's a couple of mom groups and even Jewish mom groups.
fabulous.
How am I showing up there aside for, obviously advertising my service? Like, what do you mean
Great
by,
question. So actually, I find that like I'll be in doula groups. I was in mom groups. Then when I kind of shifted over to mentorship, now I'm in doula groups. And I will see people promote their stuff and it gets like zero likes, zero
right?
comments, and to me it almost feels icky. So
Yes.
then I started noticing like, well, where is the engagement? And what I noticed is like the engagement is like, so say a mom asks a question about something related to their pregnancy or their birth, and
Hello, can
you're
you still
able
there?
to, yeah, can you hear me? Did I lose ya? I wonder if it's my internet.
I'm sorry. If it keeps happening, I'm gonna move, but I don't want to go
Okay.
upstairs where baby is.
Yeah, I think we're okay. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, so I think like answering questions in a very like um no strings attached way is a really good opportunity to just get your name out there. If it's a group where they allow links, then what I prefer to do is almost direct them to like long form content or short term form content that you've already created. And this could be as simple as like if someone asks a question about induction and you have a post that you created in the last year about induction, you could literally send
Mm.
that to them as a way to kind of be like, hey, this is such a great question. I created something about this. I think you'll love it. Here's the link. Now they're on your page, poking around and you're not saying like, let's jump on a call. You know what I mean? Like you're just being very like no strings attached. Hey, by the way, I'm a doula. Feel free to private message me. But often it's really just then everybody who sees that comment in the feed starts to like notice your name. And the more you do that on a regular weekly basis, especially in those same groups, like the more you just become kind of known.
That takes a lot of time. That's why I'm
It
scared.
definitely it definitely does. And I think that it's one of those things where you have to set really good boundaries around it. You have to be like, for 35 minutes, or I'm going to set a timer on my phone. I'm going to jump in Facebook groups and then I'm going to get off. You know what I mean? And just know that a little bit is better than nothing. And 30 minutes a week even is better than not doing it at all, you know? Um, and then once you have that long form stuff created, like down the road, when you have a blog up and running or you've got some more Instagram stuff, you don't have to reinvent the wheel and you'll be able to kind of like just drop that link by heart. You know what I mean? Like it'll just become something a little more natural.
Mhm.
So I think it's just becoming known.
We
What
talk a little bit actually about a website because I have not created a website. I feel like
Yeah.
let me start my Instagram first because that's
Yep,
where millennials are
definitely.
going first.
Yep.
But like if I want to create a website, my husband's actually really great at this stuff and like he can help me
Oh, that's
easily.
awesome.
Yeah.
Jealous. Jealous.
The perks.
Yeah.
Um, but like, what am I putting on there?
Yeah.
It
Okay.
doesn't have to be extensive right now, but like, what are the
Yeah.
main things I want up on there?
Love it. So here's what I would, as far as to give you bigger picture. So you started with the right thing, in my opinion, which is social media, because it's free. It is a great place to practice your message and what's working and what isn't, and really start building your brand. Okay. Then I like to kind of focus on establishing what you need for the website as far as like a host. So tell me about like do you have anything like that set up or not just yet? And have you like had anything on your radar as to what you might want to use or anything like that?
I honestly have not set up
Okay,
anything yet. My
great.
husband's like familiar with Wix, so
Great. I've
probably.
heard really good things about Wix from a user like ease of use perspective.
Mhm.
So the beauty of the flow that I'm going to recommend to you is that if he sets you up with the Wix account, the website absolutely does not have to be built for us to start using it. So what I mean by that is I would love to see you do your social media first, which you've got moving. Then I would love to talk to you about creating a free resource, that lead magnet. And what in a perfect world, we would be collecting emails and starting to build your email list using free software. So there's a few things I can recommend that are free for the first 1,000 subscribers. And if he could set Wix up for you, we can create like landing pages, but these landing pages just live on their own. It's like we don't have to have a beautifully curated homepage and about me page all set up in ahead of time. That can come later. Okay. So he can set up the Wix site for you and we can kind of map out what's going to go on each page, but you can take your time with it because I know you have other priorities. Okay. So the free resource could be a way to like force us to get the website up and running, but without it being completely finished. And then you're collecting emails, which is one of those big primary spokes of that whole marketing wheel. Okay. And so to just answer your original question, simple is a great starting place. Like I think homepage, about me page, services page, and your blog. And that's all you really need to hit the ground running. And then as far as the content itself, I'm really big on having very marketing sales specific copy, not salesy, but essentially like I'm not tooting my own horn by any means, but I am gonna pull up my own site because I don't even know if you've ever seen it, but it's very
Yeah.
possible that it's not your typical site. So in other words, my homepage is, do you get a vibe right out of the gate, right? What's the vibe? Also, like, what's the headline? Okay. And then what's the goal? So the goal of my homepage is to sell my free resource. That's my strategy. And basically all roads are going to lead you to grabbing that free resource. Okay. And then a little bit of about me page, the podcast, which was once my blog. Okay. You
Love
can,
it.
yeah, Instagram. It's so simple. But the idea is someone lands on here and they're nodding their head going, yeah, yeah, I
That's the
do.
vibe I want.
Yeah, right. And so I want to help you build a homepage that draws that mama in. Like she lands there and you're speaking to her heart and she's nodding her head and it's forcing her to scroll down because
So
she's,
what's your free resource? That those three questions?
yeah, it's the three questions. Yeah. And and so we could talk about the free resource all day
Yeah,
long.
I'm
This
actually
is
curious.
this yeah, this is literally just one strategy too. Like a lot of people, their homepage sells their offer right off the bat, but I feel like doulas need to get to know me first and they don't want to be sold to, right? And moms are
I would
kind of the
imagine the
same way.
same with, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I think spending some time thinking about what you can offer moms that's a no-brainer is going to do so much good for you. And that's going to give you a lot of content ideas for your social media too, right?
Mhm.
Because now you can be pulling bits and pieces out of that freebie that are then part of like the stories that you're telling on social. Okay.
Like it.
I literally did not have this website for the longest time. I just ran with social media and these landing pages. So like this is what I mean when I say a landing page.
Yeah.
It sells the freebie. And your husband can set you up with Wix so that you build out this freebie page and then just let the rest of the website be on the back burner until you get the rest of it built out.
Mhm.
Okay.
What are some good ideas for freebie?
Yeah, let's talk about this because this is such a good topic. So, my 2 cents is I would love for you to go all in on the most specific stuff for your ideal client. So, I almost want the word Jewish in that title,
Hmm. Well, the
right?
thing is, I'm worried that it alienates those who are not,
Yeah,
which
let's talk
I
about
know we
that.
spoke about this a little bit.
Well, let's talk about it more. Like, Um, what other things can we draw from your ideal client as
Right.
far as connectors and things that really kind of like put them in that group of like my perfect ideal mamas.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about who she is and then we'll figure out like
Mhm.
what's a problem that she has that we could solve.
Yeah, so anxious,
Yep.
scared,
Yep.
worried, um, fearful, it's new, big change,
Hmm.
um, new to the whole, parenting.
Hmm.
Uh,
So I'm hearing like first time parent for sure.
yeah, yeah, first time and second time, I think. I was actually fleshing this out a bit with my sister. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the field of education for so many years, and I feel like I'm a great teacher, and I love to
Mm.
give over knowledge, and I love to give advice. And it's funny and ironic. I'm actually like the youngest in my family. So like I don't always have like, the younger sister to coach, and I'm always like the one, getting coach. And I love helping and I love, providing information and being a mentor.
Yeah.
And so I feel like me being able to help new moms with all my experience that I had will be very empowering for me and I will feel good. And I feel like I have a lot to offer new mothers. Um,
Absolutely.
which is not to say that I would love to work with a fourth time mom, but I feel
Right.
like the niche is the need is greater with newer moms.
Hmm.
And I feel like I have a lot to offer in that regard, especially because, as a new mom, I was all of this.
Yeah,
And now I feel differently.
totally. Yeah, I think let's take the things that you gave me, which were great, like the anxious, the worried, the big change. I love the big change. I love the fear of and the unknowns and all that. And let's try to go a layer deeper. Like, let's figure out at what stage of their pregnancy is the ideal time for them to meet with you, consult with you, and potentially hire you. What would you say? And you might not have the answers, but let's just talk it through. Like, when would that be so that we
Right.
can figure out, like, when do we want to catch them and what problem do we really want to solve and why?
Right. And also just want to say I really liked my tagline, go from birth warrior to birth warrior.
I'm like obsessed with it. I want that to be on the website for sure.
Homepage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Getting back to
Just
your question.
sub
So
headline.
I think for new moms, really, I mean, not too early, but if they are feeling all of these, the earlier the better, so that I can help them feel more relaxed and calm going through the pregnancy. They don't have to wait until they're, in their eighth month to feel more calm about it, especially as the birth gets closer, it gets more anxiety stricken.
Mhm.
Uh,
Absolutely.
so maybe like second trimester.
Yeah. 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 So again, it's kind of like if I'm a pregnant mom and I'm in my second trimester and I've gotten through some of the first trimester hurdles and I can finally free up a little brain space to find my doula. I want to know, like, what do I wake up every day facing? Like, am I getting caught up in planning my baby shower? Um am I worried about something really specific that has my anxiety spiraling? And when I
I would
mean
be
by
scared of
that,
actual birth.
yeah, like and again, it's like trying to figure out, like, does the fear of the labor for your ideal client, does that usually show itself and reveal itself in that second trimester, or is it more third? Like, it really kind of depends, you know?
Also depends if they're a planner or not. If they're a planner, they're already
100%.
worrying about it the day they became pregnant.
Yeah, and I'm almost thinking that sounding like more of your ideal client, because that's why I think that big change is so intense for them, because they're so used to planning, they're so used to having control, and this is all so new. And they're realizing there is no like game plan. Like, nobody can just be like, here, as long as you follow this, you're good. And so I almost want you to call that out on the in the title or in the tagline or on the landing page as well, like for the type A mom or for the overachiever mom, or like make a joke of it, even like the plan to a fault mom, like whatever it is, we have to like call it out. Because if you're someone that's like super type B, go with the flow, I'll figure it out, like when I like, that's not really who you're looking for. Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
point.
So I think figuring out those problems. And I've had people do freebies. Like, at one point I had a freebie that was a registry guide. At another point I had one that was like a nausea survival guide. Um,
Hmm.
I've tested a lot of things, and I think that the nausea survival guide
Hmm.
felt too broad. Like, it was a killer resource, but it wasn't really self-selecting. You know what I mean? At all.
It was too general, you're saying?
Yeah, it was like anybody with nausea doesn't mean that they're like the mom that I want to work with, you know? And so it kind of fizzled out. So I've learned the hard way with lead magnets, and I think that it takes
So this is called, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the term. This is a lead magnet.
a lead magnet and a freebie are the exact same thing. And I actually prefer freebie because we're not paying for ads or anything. Like, we are going to push this thing out organically. We're going to hyperlink it down the road in your blog posts. We're going to drop the link in Facebook mom groups. We're going to make it the call to action on your Instagram posts. It might even live in your Instagram bio eventually. You're almost going to talk about it so much that you're going to get sick of talking about it, and that's a good thing. We're going to have the link in your stories. We're going to try to sell it all the time, even though it's not paid. It's free. But we're going to be selling it all the time. Um, because as that email list builds, that is the biggest asset you can have, because even these mamas that have their babies, now they live on your list, and there's room for like continuity offers and keeping them nurtured in your world for when they have additional kids and things like that. Um, so if we were gonna like again going back to the beginning, social media, I feel like you're gonna get a little bit more time to hash that consistency and that strategy out today on the call.
Right.
And then I think the next thing to consider is what could I create for a freebie? On that topic, what this is
Mhm.
going to probably surprise you, but the most important thing for me on a freebie is the copy, what you're saying on the landing page, and the
Mhm.
conversion of that page, okay? Not the actual freebie itself, which always
Crazy.
it blows everybody's mind. They're like, "What are you talking about?" But what I don't want is for you to make a freebie over 3 months time and pour yourself into this thing. We don't even know if it's what moms want.
Right.
And
The thing is about freebies,
yeah,
just from all of now, I'm realizing, how I got to all these pages and stuff. I
totally.
think a lot of times it's very deceiving because, like, oh, here, I'll answer blah, blah, blah. And here's
Yeah.
my like 20-minute video. Excuse me, you just told me that I'm going to get X, Y, and Z. This 20-minute video ain't, and like, it almost feels deceiving. Like,
Yeah.
I've
So
just been
that,
jaded by Instagram and I just want to make
yeah,
sure I'm not doing the same thing for my clients, you
I
know?
love that. I think the more transparent we can be and clarity we can offer to like, what is the thing and what problem am I solving? And even the amount of time dedicated to that. So it's the quicker the win, the better. And also, it's so nuanced. We also need to create a gap. So, what I mean by that is problem, solution, problem. So, let's, for example, say, um, I'm trying to think something with your niche.
Right. So problem, we could discuss that easily, anxious mom, nervous about birth, worried, this
I
is so
want more
new,
specific. Like, what are they anxious about?
so scared of birth. They've never done it. They have no idea what it's going to feel
Okay.
like. Their friend freaked them
Yeah.
out and told
Okay.
them crazy birth stories.
Let's go on the pain piece because we can get real specific. So maybe it's like, and again, don't quote me. I'm like totally
Mhm.
spitballing, but it's three coping mechanisms for active labor or like three ways to cope with pain during active labor. So it's like the problem is I'm terrified that I'm not going to be able to handle the pain. The solution is you're giving me three exercises that I can nail ahead of time so that I can go in with these coping skills. And then what we need to create is another problem or the gap. We need to reveal to them that these three physical exercises are absolutely going to do the trick. But hey, guess what? There's this huge mindset piece that you haven't even thought about that is going to be very heavily present in when you're in labor land, when you're experiencing active labor, and we need to tackle that as well. So it's like their problem in their mind is I'm not gonna be able to handle the pain. We're gonna give them something to solve that because you know all the things and that's easy for you to solve. Super clear, super transparent of exactly what I'm getting when I give you my email. But then before they leave the freebie or within the email sequence that's automated on the back end of this freebie, you're going to start to help shift their perspective around the fact that, like, hey, you know what I haven't done? I haven't worked through the mindset part. I haven't talked to my partner about XYZ. I haven't, um, brought prayer into my pregnancy or like whatever it is. I'm not sure what that is yet, but we have to create the gap to keep them wanting more from you. So we don't just want to like solve their problem and give them no reason to continue to
Right.
work with us. So freebies are very, very, very complex, right? But they can work. And in my perfect world, like if you can get a 30% conversion on that landing page, you're killing it. Um, it is not easy, but it is totally doable, you know? And again, that's a metric that will be easy to track once you've got your email software set up and your landing page set up through Wix.
How am I getting all these emails?
You mean like how are we getting people to subscribe? Yeah. So let's pretend that you are sitting down to plan your week's worth of social media content because you are batching. because that's going to save you a lot of time. And you sit down and you're mapping out like, okay, I'm going to do 3 reels and a carousel this week or whatever it is. Um, and these are physical coping mechanisms that that are within my freebie. So um I'm going to create a post about how water therapy is such an incredible tool during active labor. So the post is about like being in the shower or being in the bath. And then the call to action is I have 3 go-to favorite labor pain coping skills, whatever. Comment the word pain free and I'll send you the link. And then they're like, oh yeah, I need that. They click the link, they go to the landing page, which you saw mine, they give you their email.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So they give you the email and then you send them the.
Yeah. And then it's all automated. Like in a perfect world, I'd help you build out the delivery email automatically sends through your email software. You only have to create it once and then it's done. And so it's like they immediately get the freebie in their email.
Mhm.
And then in a perfect world, maybe even 3 or 4 more emails over 10 days that continue to nurture them, continue to show that gap, continue to give them next steps to continue to nurture them. And then long-term game plan is maybe you're sending a weekly or a bi-monthly newsletter to keep them engaged and keep them nurtured and keep you on their radar and offer them a free consult here and there and, throw a blog post in the PS to just kind of keep you top of mind. So, it sounds a little overwhelming, but this is like long game, all the pieces to the puzzle. And what you're doing is you're chewing one at a time. You're like breaking off one piece, learning it. It's messy. It feels totally foreign. Then you're going to get into a rhythm and then we move on to the next thing. Like this is so not like a wake up and you have all the pieces together unless you have a team of 10 that I don't know about.
Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. But it can be done if you just keep moving the needle, even if it's the littlest bit, because like you cannot build a brand super quick unless you have a ton of money to throw around. And I think that we are fed this lie. Like, I want Sell to Serve to be like a foundation that you jump off from and can always return back to you just keep building and you don't look back, you just keep going. And if you can stay in it for the long game, you will surpass all the other doulas that give up because 3 posts feels like they're never going to find their rhythm. three
Yeah.
posts a week, you know? And you're going to go through seasons. So maybe like in one season, you're lucky to get 1 post a week. Maybe you go on vacation and you let your followers know, see you in 2 weeks. I'm signing off of Instagram because I'm a mom and I want to be present. And you know what? Your followers are going to appreciate that. So it doesn't have to look a certain way. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
think homework for you. And if other homework has fallen to the wayside, I'd say don't worry about it. You can always return to those workbooks. I think you have your priorities pretty solid. And you got that social media up and running. That was huge. And know that that's going to get easier with time. It's like a love-hate relationship.
I'm gonna also start a Facebook and just double post.
Yeah, play around with like, are there any groups that feel like they're worth my time? Be sure to check the group rules. Some groups are really picky. Like I'm in some groups that don't allow any links to be dropped. And
Interesting.
and I will like forget and I'll have to go back and like delete the link. And then there's other ones where people are dropping links all day. So you just have to kind of see what works for you. What about within your like community, the Jewish community? Like,
Right.
are there places that you gather together like every weekend? Like, I mean, are you going for worship? Like, I almost wonder if there is some networking that can be done in that way.
Yeah, so it's definitely a great question. So we have my husband's actually a rabbi. We
Mm,
have our own synagogue. Not
amazing.
them, yeah, not so many young families. We're also really involved with another synagogue. I was just there last week.
Yeah.
Of course, I was chewing everyone's ear off about my doula.
Well, they probably love to hear about it.
So yeah, I got some like there's also so I got some like ideas chatting with different moms. One of them was just like putting my name up, and I'm wondering actually what your opinion is. Like this is so old school PR, but like who cares? Like
Cares? Is
my
it
like
free?
flyer with the numbers that you
Yeah.
can.
Why not? Like, what is the worst that can happen is no one takes one,
Right.
right? I say do it,
I'll
try
rip
it.
off like a few so people will look like
And who knows, maybe you even have a QR code so they could either pull a thing. If they're
Mhm.
more old school, they can pull a thing, or if they want to just scan the QR code, like let them send it straight to your social media, or like who knows?
Right.
Yeah,
So I can like do that like at the JCC, it's like the Jewish Community Center. I was even
I
thinking like
love
the
that.
library.
Yeah, and again, don't
Yeah.
be afraid to really make it obvious that you yourself are Jewish and that that is something you bring to your doula work. Because again, if I'm at the JCC and I'm looking for a doula and I've never heard of you and I see a flyer and it says like Jewish doula or doula for my Jewish mamas or like whatever, you better believe now I'm like, ooh, that interests me.
Right.
Because I don't want just any old doula. I want a doula that gets like my
Culture
values
and
and
religion.
beliefs and all of it.
Right.
Hmm. Um,
So
so
just
yeah, I say do it. Just don't spend a lot of time on it. Like don't spend like months on a flyer. You know
right.
what I mean? Just I
And
think
what are some
Alex,
of the things I could put on the flyer? Like
I
that
say like call
tagline.
them, pretend it's a mini website. Like what's a killer headline that would grab their attention? First time mom, having trouble sleeping, anxious, like whatever it is, ask a question, big headline, like scared of labor, like whatever you think that's going to pull on that pain point, to grab their attention and then let them into your world where they can kind of take that deep breath of relief and be like, all right, it doesn't have to be so scary.
Uh-huh. So your answer is right on the flyer.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an easy one. There's also my midwife actually told me, so there's a big Jewish preschool.
Oh,
And they
wow.
have a pregnancy group and a postpartum group. Yeah,
Ooh.
so their pregnancy group, I think, only meets like twice a year. It's not as big, but their postpartum group, I think it's like every 6 weeks is a new cohort or something like that.
Wow.
I don't know how much I could be helpful though in the postpartum group. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if there's any way.
Yeah, with that pregnancy group, I want like I don't know anything about it, but I wonder if there's someone you can contact. If they only meet twice a year, maybe you could even say like I'll host a class. Here's the
Right.
topic.
That's what I was
I
thinking.
love hosting like mother circles, but instead of like a generic mother circle, give them a super specific topic that they know they're going to learn to get their incentive to come,
Yep.
you know?
Point.
Or even ask them if you could host something virtually. Hey, I'm gonna offer an hour-long workshop on XYZ. Would you be willing to invite all your people? It's completely free.
Yeah.
Here's
So
the
I'm gonna
Zoom link.
reach out to the woman who organizes it this week. That was one of my to-do lists.
Yeah. And I think whenever you're doing anything like this, always keep in mind that you want to try to grab their email if you can, like their contact
Um,
details, even if it's super messy and you're writing it in a notebook, because eventually that's going to be something where it's like every time you offer something for free, no matter what it is, capturing their email is so important so that you can reach out after the fact
okay, great point.
and follow up.
I was just going to ask, what my mind. Oh, can we talk more about the freebie? Because I feel like that's
Yes,
the
let's do it.
easiest. Yeah. Oh, and then
Let's do
actually,
it.
my other question. I noticed your branding is very like bold, very you, like confidence,
Yeah.
showing you like very confident poses. Tell me more about that. And do you think
Yeah.
that what a mom wants as a doula? I mean, I know obviously you have a different niche.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm still not like out there taking a bajillion photos of myself and posting it all over my page, but I did like that about your page.
Yeah,
Like, you're
yeah,
confident, I'm happy,
yeah,
join me,
yeah,
confidence club. I definitely like
totally.
your marketing tactic, and that's what got me, I'll be very honest.
Yeah, yeah, because you are that way as well, right? So I think that like I drew you in because you have that leadership and like that confidence inside of you. And so when we're thinking about your branding, again, there's some soul searching there of like, what do these anxious moms need from me? Like, do they need a softness and a warmth and to kind of like build them up from a place of anxiety and like help them trust themselves? Like, what does that look like? And I think like even talking to the client that you just had and saying like, I'm really working hard to figure out ways to get myself out there more and more. Like, what drew you to me? Or like, was there anything that really like stood out to you? And try to get it in their words, what colors get you excited? Like what images, like your logo is gorgeous. And to me, it had this like artistry to it. You know what I mean? Like very fluid, very like artistic, which again, I love because like I'm a dancer and so for me it was like very aesthetically balanced and pleasing. Um, but yeah, I feel like you kind of emulate this like surrender of like motherhood can be beautiful. It doesn't have to be rigid. And so that those like soft lines and things like that I think could be really powerful for your branding. But also, again, if you look back at 2 years ago, my branding was completely different, different colors, different fonts. So it's an evolution. So I say just like show up as the authentic you right now and know that in a year it's probably going to look different and that's totally fine.
Right. And as far as like images on my website,
Yeah.
I'm creating this really simple image. Am I portraying myself? Am I portraying my family? Am I portraying just pregnant moms? I'm like trying to
Yeah.
really think what I
If
want
you're
on there.
comfortable sharing your family, I think there's such power in them seeing you enjoying motherhood and like the fruits of the labor and being connected to your kids. And I think it ties really good into the Jewish side as well, like because val family is such a high value
Yeah.
within the Jewish community. Like, and I think that, so if you're comfortable like sharing your family, I think there's some serious like power and love and like compassion that someone without a family wouldn't really be able to, they'd have to lean into something else. You know what I mean?
Mhm. So even just like we just like let's say my family photo shoots, like
Yeah.
using some
I
of
think
my
that's
different.
like the best branding.
Yeah.
I really do because that's you and your element. Like that smile that you have in a candid shot with you and your family, that is so authentic. Like
Right.
that wasn't a brand shoot. That was family memory being captured.
You're talking about my first post. I actually got a
All
lot
of
of
them.
engagement.
Yeah.
My first post was like get to meet me, and it was different photos of
Yeah.
me and my family, and like there was 30 likes within like 4 days.
That's amazing.
Um, and then like the other ones, obviously were much less.
Yeah, so start testing like, oh, when I show my family and me with my family, is that getting best the better engagement? And then that just shows you what your audience is craving. They want to see you thriving as a mother, and it builds credibility and authenticity for your brand, It really does.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think continuing through the rest of Sell to Serve, I think for you, continuing to just play with and focus on your social, but having that number one goal be starting conversations.
So how do I do that? Tell me about that.
Okay, so anybody that liked any post of yours so far or commented, you have full reign. To me, that is what I call a hand raise. And we're going to talk about this as the weeks go on. But if I like your post, that is me raising my hand, like, hey, I liked what you put out there, or it resonated with me, or good for you, or like, hey, I'm interested. And so to me, it's like an open door. And you could totally reach out to new followers, anyone that likes your post, anybody that comments on a story and just start a conversation like, hey, I'm so grateful that you're here. Mm, I'd love to learn like more about you. Where are you in your motherhood journey? Or, hey, thanks for being here. I love connecting with other women. It's why I started this account. Are you currently expecting? Or are you a birth worker? Or you just love birth? Like trying to figure out where they're at.
Right. I saw you had in like the self-serve chat, there was like three questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. One of my favorite things is to kind of sum up like what most women who follow me want and then like give them the opportunity to say, yeah, that's me too. So a lot of times I'll ask a question like, a lot of the women in my world are looking to book more clients so that they can have the financial freedom for XYZ. Would you say that's you too? Right? And 90% of the time they're like, absolutely. And then 10% of the time they're like, actually, I have enough clients. What I really need are systems to make my life more efficient. I'm like, I'm not your girl. Love you. That's so great for you, but I am not the systems queen.
Right.
You and me both, right? And so it's just good to kind of be in the DMs like who's following me? What are they experiencing? Like, and you can't go
Because like
wrong.
right now, those, I mean, whatever I started last week, the my followers right now are like my friends or
Yeah.
family, you
Yeah,
know?
and that's okay.
And
That's normal.
right. So I don't exactly have new followers that I'm gonna start. Or
Yeah.
it's like other people and their businesses. I saw some, people
Yeah.
trying to get business from me.
And you will absolutely be getting like other birth workers because other birth workers are going to like your stuff. They're going to like your vibe, like no
Right.
question. And I still think it's good to have them in your world because it helps your follower count. You just never know if they're going to get pregnant themselves. You never know if they're going to be booked and refer you. You just never know,
Right.
right?
Yeah, no problem with that. Actually, another question.
Yeah.
What do you say about like tagging, like let's say I saw another birth work had a great reel, so like tagging it and putting it in my story. Like,
I think it's a huge compliment when people do that to me. I absolutely love it. So I think, again, any way that you can be connecting, collaborating, building other birth workers up, any way you could have eyes on yourself from other mothers or women, it's all gold.
mhm.
It's all
Like I was worried because it wasn't my own content, but like who cares? It was a great reel.
absolutely. And like when you share that to your stories, it gives that person credit.
Right, right.
And even better, like share it to your stories and then write what you loved about it. Like
Yeah,
give
that's what I
them the
did. And I
kudos.
tagged the
Yeah,
person.
absolutely. Um, So yeah, I think as far as social, my hope for everybody today is we're going to walk away from the call with a little bit more like clarity around what should I be creating and why. And then I think for you really sitting with this week, what could I create as a freebie? What are the women in my world craving? When do I really want to get on their radar? How soon is that? What do they think is a problem that maybe I know isn't the real problem, but I still need to meet them where they're at? Because that's another big thing. Like I'll be honest, my three questions, um, it works, but I think that if I really want to catch someone earlier, I need to be talking a little bit more about social media. And I had a lot of resistance around that for a really long time because I was like, I am not a social media guru by any means. Like, I don't have a ton of followers. Up until recently, I felt like I didn't know what I was doing on social. I was just doing it. But now I'm realizing as I have more confidence with social, that's what the doulas are looking for, even though I know the true problem is the sales.
Right,
But I got to
right.
meet them where they're at.
That's
And
true.
so I'm testing out the Instagram bio audit as a way to pull doulas in who really are 100% focused on Instagram.
Right.
And so it's not that I'll get rid of the three questions freebie for now, but I just want you to know from my mistakes that like there needs to be some real intentionality. The more specific, the better. The quicker the win, the better. Like you said, the
What
more
do you mean by the quicker the
transparent.
one better?
Yeah, so like let me think. I had a freebie one day called the 10-minute Instagram strategy for doulas. The problem with it was like it I don't think that it was translating. Like you didn't know exactly how I was gonna deliver it. It was hard to communicate like what is the outcome?
And you
Like,
want a very specific
right? Like
breakdown.
the 10-minute a day Instagram strategy for doulas is catchy. And as a
I would
doula,
have gone
you're like,
on there.
right? Exactly. But then it's kind of like, but what was the actual benefit? What was the actual outcome? And there was a lack of clarity there. And so I had to learn that the hard way. Whereas the three questions, like you are going to know what three questions to ask on every single consult. And you should be able to run with that no matter what you're selling. And it's a very easy to understand quick win. It's a one sheet PDF.
I better read it myself.
Yeah, I had some fun with it. Do you have it? I'll get you it.
I think so. I don't think I saw it.
I'll just send you then you can look at the landing page, which you probably already have and all that,
Tell
but
me a bit about I know you just said you're not a social media guru, but you know more than me. Paid ads. Like you've come
yeah.
up, I found you through paid ad.
Yeah. So once the offer itself has been truly validated. So like in my case, I was doing in-person doula work and I was like booked out. And then I had my son and I was like, I really love like this marketing piece and I'm just gonna play around with that. So I shifted, okay? And once I shifted, it was like I was getting organic clients, but I was like, I also want to play around with the idea of getting my name out there to even more doulas all over the country. And so I dabbled with what's called visibility ads, which are pretty inexpensive. And the idea is like you're basically telling Meta who you're looking for and then creating an ad that you think that person would benefit from seeing. And then you push it out there. And if the algorithm is like, yeah, these people are liking your ad, then your cost per lead goes down.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, it's like a whole different ball game. And I usually say like, first, let's get all the spokes of the wheel built.
Hmm.
Then let's validate your offer. So like what I mean by that is like for you, if you are selling, let's say a $3,000 in-person doula package and you're doing three of those a month and your book's solid, okay,
Amen.
right? Now we can pour some gasoline on there. Or maybe you now create a more passive virtual offer to supplement your income and then we use Meta to kind of push that out. There's lots and lots of room for growth once you've tackled the in-person stuff.
No, but I'm saying using Instagram ads even to find clients for a
Absolutely.
birth.
You
So
absolutely could.
you're saying waiting even on that, or I mean, it
I
would be a good
usually
idea
do.
to
I usually
build up
say,
social.
yeah, I usually say like because I want them, let's say you were to pay for ads tomorrow, where are we sending them? Are we tracking that? Are we able to get the cost per lead down? And right now you don't have all the components built yet, and I don't want you to pour money down the drain,
Right.
right? Because there's no guarantee with ads. And I've had launches where my ad spend got so outrageous, I just cut it all off and I said I'm going back to organic. So it's like a volatile market, and things like holidays and summer and seasons will like affect the cost, and it's like really volatile. So you
Okay.
want to make sure you have the system solid in
For
place.
sure. I know you have to go shortly. Could
Yeah,
we
we
just take the last few minutes to
please.
discuss a little bit more on the freebie? Because I
Yes,
feel like that is a great
absolutely.
idea, and I'm
So
trying
have a quick conversation with hubby about getting Wix off the ground maybe over the next few months and let him know that
few
like
weeks, girl.
I love it. I love it.
When I get passionate about something, I'm all
Yeah,
in.
I love that. I just don't know like what his availability is.
Oh, I'm
I'm
priority. No, I'm kidding.
I'm the same
I
way.
wish. I
I'm
wish.
the same way. Like I'll have an idea and then like it'll get built out in a day because I'm like, oh no, it's on top of mind. Yeah. So let him know that you don't have to have all the pages built, but that you would like to start having like a landing page for this free resource and things like that. So on your to-do list, I would write signing up for a free software for email. I like MailerLite, but you don't have to be married to that. There's MailChimp, there's all different email softwares, and you could
Sure.
even ask the women in Telegram, like, hey, what's everyone using? What are the pros? What are the cons? But MailerLite's free for the first 1,000 subscribers.
Mail light, mailer, LID.
MailerLite, I'll put it right in the chat for you.
I think my husband's familiar with MailChimp.
They're literally almost identical. So if
Okay.
he's familiar with that, I would go with what he's familiar with because those two are pretty much exactly the same. So you're going to need your Wix account set up, your MailChimp set up, and then your freebie idea, and we could build that in Canva. So that's a lot, and I'm not trying to overwhelm you, but I'm saying with all those components, you can really start pushing the freebie out there.
Mm-hmm.
I also want you to think really big when you're working on the freebie thoughts because I've had clients even create a Facebook group and make the Facebook group their freebie. So it's like a private group that they nurture and post in daily and things like that. And you have to give the email over to get into the group. So there's
Mm-hmm.
like there's quizzes, there's so much you can do.
I was
Um,
thinking that.
but again, like less is more, simple is better, quick win, problem, solution, problem. Those
How
are
do
kind of
you
the
put
things.
the problem into the like where is that? Like as so there's the problem, I'm here, the solution. Where do you add in the other problem? Like on this
Yeah,
PDF? Like on
great question. So like one of the things that I kind of highlight for people that grab that 3 questions freebie is once they start getting my emails after they've grabbed the freebie, I start talking about how important like follow-up is and how follow-up actually accounts for like 68% of the sales in my business. Yeah. And how objections are part of the consultation and handling objections is really a skill and an art. And so I start to like make them aware of all the other pieces of the puzzle. So like yes, the 3 questions are going to help you with your consultations, but if you're having issues converting or collecting payment or getting the final yes on your hired, there's these other pieces that I can help you with. Or
Mhm.
maybe you grabbed the 3 questions, but you're only having one consult every 6 months. And so the real issue is you need help with the marketing ahead, like the social media. So I start to highlight like those other problems and then offer sell to serve as the solution.
Mhm.
You
So it's
know,
a slow process. It's not like right in the PDF itself.
you know what? There's no rules. So it
Mhm.
kind of depends on what problem you're solving, on whether or not you can. Like I have a client, she's all about home birth. She has a $97 home birth self-paced course. And so her freebie is a quiz about like whether or not you're ready for your home birth or something like that. I'm butchering it.
Mhm.
And then it's a quick quiz and then you get the results of the quiz, which all the results are like you still need to do some preparations. And then the solution is $97 self-paced course.
Mhm. Right.
And so that's kind of like again, problem, solution, problem.
Mhm.
Yeah. So um
All right. I thought
yeah,
a
I
little bit
think
more overwhelmed than when I started. This is the only issue.
you know what? I think the good news is like none of this is in vain. You are headed on this uphill climb, and the beauty of it is like you're never gonna like backslide. So it's like you're climbing this mountain, but you're building every piece one on top, like you're putting bricks down, and eventually you just keep going up.
Right. Right.
Okay? So it's never like you're gonna take a backslide because you
Work
stop.
too hard.
Yeah, it's not like that. It's a long game. I want you to think long game, consistency. So, in other words, I would rather you post twice a week for the next 6 months than 5 times a week for 2 weeks and then burn out and no one hears from you for 30 days. That's not good for your branding.
Right.
But more importantly, it's not even that it's not good for your branding. It's then you lose your flow. You're not getting the reps in. You're not getting better at it or quicker at it because now you're not doing it because you burned yourself out. So just think like long game consistency, refine, 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 lean on us when you have questions and like you're only gonna move forward.
Got it.
Yeah.
Last question for you. I know you're gotta
Yeah.
go.
Let's do another question.
As far as like the website, so it's like the homepage, about me, service page, and then like content itself. Like let's say I'm not starting my blog now for the next long while. I can't even imagine
Yeah. I
putting
would
on.
put the freebie up there. I would. I would have like homepage, about me, services, and then we would want to talk a
Is
little
the
bit of,
freebie on the homepage?
I, I think for you it might be. Um, and we would have to kind of talk about like what do we want the number one goal of this website to be? Is it to lead them to a free consultation? Is it to lead them to the free resource where we're then selling the consultation in the emails? Like we would almost want to kind of talk about the
I
bigger
think it would be to
picture.
the free consultation.
So then literally homepage, all of the copy on that website would be like book a call, book a call, book a call. Here's what we'll review in the call. Here's why you'll feel so much better after the call. By the way, it's free. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
here's who's best for this call. Here's who's not. Like it would literally just be that would be the number one strategy is get on a call. And I think that would be a good strategy for your freebie too, is they get through the freebie and then it's like, hey, you want to go deeper on this? You want to talk about the things that might be missing in your plan? Like, book a call.
Hmm. And so that's all on the homepage.
Yeah, I think it should be.
Hmm.
Yeah. You could literally run with a homepage only and you'd be fine. Like, if you really wanted to go simple, you could just have a long homepage that talks a little bit about you and a little bit about your offer and a little bit about whatever, but all leading to book a call and you would still be fine, right? Yeah. Uh-oh, I think you froze again. Ah, I'm not sure if you can see the chat, but I will send you the replay via email. That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the good news is I will send you this replay. We will talk more about social media because I'm feeling like everybody's going to benefit from that today. And that's the beauty of this live cohort is like I'd rather hear what's needed and shift. And I think that'll be really a good like breath of fresh air for everybody today. So we'll dive more into that. And then I want you just dreaming about, driving about like what could be a good freebie? What do I wish I had when I was struggling as a first time pregnant mama? Like what would be really helpful? What's a no-brainer? Like the more urgent the problem, the
What
better.
about affirmations?
It's a good question. I have a lot of people that have tried affirmations and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. I think it just really depends on like, is that something that as a pregnant mom, I'm like, I absolutely need affirmations right now. I don't know that they know that they need them, but who am I to say? Like truly there's no rule book. So
Affirmation flashcards.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely worth playing around and again, it's more about how you're selling them than anything else. So, if you position them right and you make it really fun and, it's very true to you and very true to your niche, like who's to say those aren't going to fly off the shelves, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
worth thinking about what you really want to create too so that it's not boring for
Hmm.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Cool.
you so much, Lisa. I want to respect your time.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the replay. Give me like 24 hours max, hopefully sooner. Then I
Oh,
think,
but I was writing notes, so I mean, I
okay,
definitely
cool.
send it, but
Yeah, and then I think today's call will help with clarity, and then we'll just keep at it and keep building. And I love that your husband's gonna be able to help with like the tech part, because man, that was not fun for me.
no, I'm like tech handicapped. I just like
My
get into
brain
that
doesn't even
mood.
work like that. I've come a long way, but man. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad that that might be even something really fun for you two to do together.
I mean, I might have to barter, you know? This isn't going to be an easy one, but
It'll be worth it.
whatever
Sell
we'll
your
take.
soul if you have to. All right.
Ah, okay. See you soon. Thank
Awesome.
you.
So good to see you. I'll see you in a bit.
Bye.
All right. Bye.